Hello darling, I'm so happy that you're here, and I thought today would be just a little bit of fun, and let's have a go at a few of my success stories in my manifestation voyage, should I say. I thought that would be a little lighthearted, so I think most people have been wanting, and DMing me, direct messaging me, and wanting to know how I manifested the reality show. So I've got to be honest with you, always honest, you know me, but I had, I guess it was 2018, I do believe, and prior to that, when I was married to my ex-mate, there were several opportunities to where we were going to have sort of like a reality show, and things seemed to be going on the up and up a bit. But I had always, in my heart of hearts, wanted a reality show that was, not one of those shouty shows or anything negative. And so that was one of my big things, because I'm a Pisces, I like authenticity, and I like positivity, and I don't want, negative just that's downtrodden, and it's not good for us on any level. And also, it's very low vibrational energy when you're listening to such hogwash, It's just terrible for your brain, terrible for your mind and your spirit. And that's why so many people struggle with depression and sadness and all of that sort of thing, because they are vibrating on a very low vibrational scale. So I wanted to have a reality show that was like really optimistic, really fun and all that. So then I had to go, and I was able to begin communication with the Patricia, I can't say her name, Ostwald or something like that, but it was from the Southern Charm, and I can't remember what her son's name is, but anyway, it was the Southern Charm, and her name is Patricia, but I can't remember her last name. But anyway, I started having chats with her through cell phone and everything. I got in contact with her, and I was going to meet Whitney. Her son is Whitney, and so I was going to have a conversation with Whitney and tell him about the show, and say, what the show. And I had 6 girls that were mermaids, professional mermaids. And I was the only one that was a wiki-watchy mermaid, but there was other professional ones that said that they would have a go at it and that they were willing and whatnot. However, that went, out the window. And so I had put it on my vision board, but I was like, I didn't care anymore. And then, 2019 happened and Sawyer died, and I was just like, this it's nonsense anyway. Nonsense on stilts is what I like to say. And so I just kind of omitted it from my mind, and I no longer do the vision boards in that way. Sometimes I'll put things on a secret Pinterest board, but you don't really need to do that. You don't need to visualize. You can just visualize and you'll get it the same way. You don't have to do all this hard work, with it cutting out pictures and putting them on the things, unless you like doing it and it's fun for you. It's a crafty. It's fun to teach kids that, because they get a visual and they like it, in their creative endeavors. But anyway, point being, so I just dismissed it. And then it wasn't probably a month, I do believe, like I used to do my visualization. And I still do my visualization, but we're forwarding now to 18, 19, 20, to 2022. And I remember like having a bath, and I like to do my candles and my bubbles and all that sort of thing, and I was just visualizing, and I thought, there's got to be someone that is, has a reality show, or could do a reality show, or that, that's positive. Isn't there any actresses or anything? I was just basically like talking to the universe, like, isn't there anyone that would be so fun if there was someone that was like lovely and had a great reputation, and they were preferably a woman that was very an advocate for, not in the sense of like an aggressive kind of woman, but like someone that was like, hey, we want to, really put this woman on a pedestal and say that she's lovely and help women, you know, to get their books published and da-da-da. And I was just not rambling, but I was just going on a conversation, like kind of like self-talk, you know how we always do. And it was not 2 weeks. And then I just kind of dismissed it because it was never really, I mean, it was just something fun to think about. Like, wouldn't that be kind of neat if they had like a reality show that was really neat for like old fashioned and books and, you know, crafty girls and stuff like that. But it wasn't like, you know, mean or, you know, harsh or anything. And so anyway, and so it was not even 2 weeks that my friend Catherine, she's from England, she's an English girl, and we've been friends for quite some time, you know, several years on the Instagram. And she's an artist as well, and she's Pisces too, which I love that about her. And anyway, so she contacts me one day and she says, hey, she says, I've been contacted by Hello Sunshine, the Reese Witherspoon company, production company, and they would love to interview me and me to submit my videos and photography and all that sort of thing for a reality show called Cottage to the Core. But here's the problem, Raquel, that I live in Belgium. I don't live in the UK. I mean, I don't live in England. I live in Belgium, but not the USA. And so it's a USA kind of thing. You have to be in the, a citizen of the US. And she says, so I would love to, I recommended you. Would you like to have a go and chat with him? So I said, oh, of course, you know, but I wasn't thinking anything in the sense that I was like, yeah, that would be great, you know, but not getting my hopes up, and not in the sense of not getting my hopes up, but just like I didn't care anymore, you know. And isn't that always how manifestations go? When you do not have any resistance to them, they always come in. Like when you stop caring, you know, then you get what you want. But now you don't need it anymore to make you feel better, which I think is so. It's not ironic, but that's just the way the universe works, you know. Universal law is so cute like that. But anyway, and I was like, oh yeah, da 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 da. So I went through the process and da 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 da, and then yeah, I landed it, and so that, I mean, and that was nearly close to a year ago, and so then when I was reading a journal entry, I had realized that I'd said, you know, that would be fun. I think I said, oh, I want to be a New York Times best-selling author, and one of my other desires was, I want to live in a big old house, and I want to do all kinds of fun things like little projects. I want to do like little crafty things. But see, I was thinking that was my Patreon, because my Patreon is that way, you know, and I had just I'm just going to make where I'm at right now the most joyful experience, because that's what you have to do, is appreciate everything in your life in the moment, because we only have now, you know. If you keep waiting for the future, like, well, when I get this reality show, when I get this acting gig, when I get this comedy special, when I get this, you know what I'm saying? Like when I have that particular thing, or when I have that person and I marry them and I have all this sort of thing, then I'm going to be happy. And that's not how life works, is it? No. Faith always precedes the miracle, okay? You have to believe in something almost to a delusional sense that it's actually happening. You're living in it in that moment. Whether the whole world might deem you, you know, ridiculous and you've gone mad and you're bonkers, you've got to believe it so strongly, and what will happen is it will harden into fact, and it will manifest itself and demonstrate it so the world does see it. And that's exactly what's happened with me, you know, and you're watching this, and that's why I wanted to do videos and start sharing my voyage with you, because I want you to see it real time, that these are the things that are happening. Because how many times do you always see there's loads of people and they're like, yeah, this happened to me, and this happened to me, and this happened to me, but you didn't get to see like the real in time moments. And so I think it makes it a bit more intriguing, don't you? Do you not? I think it's quite lovely, because that's what I'm usually attracted to. So that's where I lean in towards that particular thing as well, because it's similar to what I deem intriguing or very inquisitive about, you know. So yeah, so that happened, and then it's just been, you know, all of those things will literally manifest, are going to create through that particular thing that happened, and bring all of my manifestations together at one time. And that's one thing that I've noticed that I'm very, very good at, if I'm patting myself on the back a bit about manifesting. And I've always been like that. And I don't know if it's because I'm an all or nothing kind of person, but I've never have a never have had the self-concept belief that I can't have everything all at one time. And every time I've ever manifested, like really what people deem as large things, I get like 5 or 6 large things, you know. They're not really large, but the world usually sees things like, oh, I manifested $2 million. And I also manifested my favorite vehicle, and I manifested my favorite house with no mortgage and no for free. And I manifested this, and I manifested that. And so a lot of people would deem those things, oh, that's a lot of big things, you know what I mean? And so, but they're not really. There's no difference in manifesting a button or a castle. They're the same. The vibration is the same. But the world and most human folk don't recognize it as that way. They look at like, oh, this big house or living in this castle would be way bigger than manifesting all simple old antique button. But it's not. It's the same. That's how I've manifested everything, is looking at it in that sense of normality. You know, manifesting my twin flame was just the same as me manifesting moving to Florida, or, you know, having an easy, you know, once I filed for divorce and it being really, really easy, and it went so fabulously well and fast, you know, because I manifested Jeffrey Sean in less than 2 months, you know, whereas the truth is, that is what is the truth. Whereas other people have the narrative that, you know, I was an adulterer and I left my marriage and for my husband, Jeffrey Sean. That's not true at all. I didn't even know him. I had talked to him maybe 2 times on the Facebook, and it was just appropriate things like, hey, are you the person that I saw for a friend request? That's all. I didn't even know Jeffrey Sean. Didn't know him from Adam, you know. But it's so funny how now I have people that were in my past now being quite inquisitive and wanting to know what the true story is. And it's like, you're a little too late to the party, my darling, because you know what? You should have come to me before, but you didn't. And so now you've shown your character. And I want nothing to do with people like that, you know what I mean? So you rubbed yourself out. And it's just like that. Isn't that what happens in life? You know, you learn a little too late. Little too late, my darling. Little too late. And but that's all right, because we all have to learn sometimes the hard way. Me, I've learned the hard way many times. I don't like going about life that way though. So I would rather take the more simplistic route, and I plan to do that more so in the future. But anyway, so I thought that would be a lovely little trip down memory lane. And I hope you liked it. And also today was quite a sad day, but I'm trying to bring my happiness to the forefront by giving video, because today dear little Sir Oliver Twisty Topsy passed away, and he was very old, you know, and it was, I'm pretty sure it was old age, because I treated him like, you know, the little king that he was. And so I'm going to have him immortalized, and tomorrow I'll be taking him to the taxidermist, and they're going to, you know, because he's a famous little rabbit. He's in 3 of my stories already, although only one of them has been published, but the other 2 coming on this year. And I think it's quite lovely. It's so fun. And so when you come to the Cottage settlement, you'll be able to see Sir Oliver Twisty Topsy and his little, you know, taxidermy little bunny rabbit, and I think he'll be dandy and handsome. What do you think? And so anyway, so I hope that you really enjoyed this video as well, and look forward to seeing you on the next broadcast. And as always, my darling, dear heart, cheers!